I also want to say as a mother, I'm a proud mother of 5 children. My husband and I have been married 35 years next week. We've also taken 23 children that didn't have homes and didn't have families into our home, and we raised them too. And so I'm a mother of 28 children. And I want you to know that children who are in very difficult situations, challenging times, they need a home, and they need to have food, and they need to have a bed, and they need to have clothes, and they need to have an education. That's in the heart of every mother for her child. I believe that's in the heart of every Egyptian father to raise strong sons and wonderful daughters who will grow up and one day contribute to this society as well. That's what we want. That's what we're about in America. We want those values that we treasure in America, the values that Representative King spoke about, the values that Representative Gohmert talked about. Those values have served our country and allowed us to build up so strong from nothing. We were nothing 236 years ago. Today we are strong. We are strong because of our values. We believe in a faith in God. We believe in our country. We believe in freedom. And we believe in standing up for family. We believe in the rule of law. We believe that's what the Egyptian people followed, the rule of law. As Representative Gohmert said, the people had the right to speak. As Representative King said, in our Declaration of Independence, it's the consent of the people that allow a government to function. That's what you did on June 30th and July 3rd and later in July. You gave your voice. That's the legitimacy for your government. Now you have the process where you're putting together the amendments to your Constitution, and as my colleague said, you'll have an election. And so again, what our important piece is that we want you to know today is that for us, as members of Congress, we stand strong in support of American financial support for the Egyptian government, in particular as you partner with us in the war on terror. So we need to stand with you, especially on the Apache helicopters and the F-16s. We need to be there for you because this is our common enemy. The Muslim Brotherhood is our common enemy, and they must be defeated.
I would also like to remind people in Egypt, as we're talking about the rule of law and its application, some in Egypt might think, well, what do they know in the United States about having a president who was never elected? And actually, we do know something about having a president who was never elected, and it's not terribly distant past. We had a vice president who was in the 70s elected as vice president, and then he was arrested, charged with a crime, was convicted, and so a vice president was selected under the law, and then the president probably could have been convicted of a crime, but he resigned, and then the vice president who was appointed but never elected became president. So we, in effect, had an interim president who had never been elected vice president, never been elected president, but because we believe in following the law, he was the president until the next election. Here in Egypt, that shouldn't be too far off, and I look forward to fair, very bipartisan and really rousing debate and election of candidates. I think it'll be great for Egypt, and we look forward to seeing all of that transpire. Thank you.
Serve on the Small Business Committee and on the Agriculture Committee. And again, I'm Steve King from Iowa in the United States, and I've been engaged in the trade agreements that we've had for, this is 11 years now in the United States Congress. And it's very important that we have trading partners. And I remember a debate that took place on the floor of the United States Senate over a trade agreement. And then Senator Phil Gramm put up a chart of circle graphs on the chart, and it was, here's the size of the economy of a country that we started trading with, and now 10 years later, here's the size of their economy. Here was the size of the United States economy when we started to trade, and now the circles got bigger. Everyone who traded with everyone saw their economies grow. And I'm very encouraged by what I hear here with the American Egyptian Chamber of Commerce. I want to strengthen these trade agreements, and I want to expand our trade with Egypt. And it's one of the things that we can do that helps grow the economy of both countries and unleashes the labor that is here and lets them be more productive. We should be always engaged in increasing the average annual productivity of our people, whether they be in Egypt or whether they be in the United States or any other country in the world. Because whenever any of us go out and produce more, that really goes into the overall economic pie, and everyone is better off. And as we're very interested in the prosperity that comes from trade, from the American capital that's invested here in Egypt, and I'm going to go back home and I'm going to encourage more of it. I have opportunities to do that, particularly with regard to agriculture, but technology of all kinds. And I want to see the growth in the trade, because that also builds the networks of people. If you have American business people that come to Egypt, Egyptians come to the United States, they build that network of friendships. And the strength of that not only improves the quality of life for everyone involved, but also it strengthens us politically, economically, and militarily. So that ties us together.
My home state of Minnesota is a large medical community. We're home to the world-famous Mayo Clinic, and we produce the finest medical devices in the world. And I know this is an industry that has room to grow here in Egypt. What businesses look for, quite frankly, when they seek to locate, they want to know that there will be stability in the area that they're locating. That's why Egypt is poised for success, because I believe now Egypt has a chance for stability. We have high confidence in the interim president that we met with today, and we have high confidence in the work of General al-Sisi and the military, and we all see the stability here that is within the religious community. And we have respect and tolerance for people's different religious beliefs. That's what we believe in the United States. We have Jews, we have Christians, we have Muslims in the United States. We have people who have no belief in God. And yet we accept, we tolerate one another, and we allow each person to find God in their way. And so in the United States, we enjoy great stability. That's allowed us to enjoy great prosperity, great economic growth and wealth. We don't want that just for the United States. We want that for the Egyptian people as well. And that's why Egypt.
As we heard this address by the three members of the Congress, Michelle Bachmann and Steve King of Iowa and Louis Gohmert of Texas, they said that they had a wonderful meeting with the current President Adli Mansour and General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as well as the Pope of the Orthodox Church. And they also said that the Congress is with us and supporting us, and is our partner on the war on terrorism. And there is a window of opportunity that Egypt can take, and that the economy chance for us now is to grow and shine. They also confirm that they see the threat that the Muslim Brotherhood has posed to people of Egypt and around the world. Also, there is a strong bond between the United States of America and the Egyptian military. And as we heard from Mrs. Bachmann that they will support the military financially, and they will ensure that Egypt has all what it needs, from Apache helicopters and F-15s and all the equipment used to capture those terrorists. And as Steve King of Iowa said, that 30 million Egyptians took the streets to take back Egypt. And together they want to provide the necessary support and fully stand behind the interim government and the plan of the interim government. And we know that the American people don't support the Muslim Brotherhood and see them as the enemy. And we've heard a lot of people mention if this is the military or not. And as we hear of members of the Congress, this was the will of the people. And also Steve King beautifully reads out the American Declaration of Independence, saying that all men are created equal. And with the second revolution of the 30th of June, we see that the Egyptian people stood strong and fought for their rights. And the Muslim Brotherhood is our common enemy with us and the United States. And basically what we understand from this address is that the United States Congress, represented by the 3 members, stands by the Egyptian people and military and is against the Muslim Brotherhood and sees them as terrorists, as what they are, and that the Egyptian people gave their voice and fought for a better future and fought for a better tomorrow for Egypt economically, politically, socially, and militarily. And we thank the 3 Congress members for the address and their support for Egypt and the Egyptian people and the Egyptian military and revolution. In the end of our show, I'd like to remind you of our email addresses. You can contact the show on the following email address: sosmisat@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and contact us on the following links: www.facebook.com/sosmisat and www.twitter.com/sosmisat. Thank you, viewers from around the world, and see you next time with SOS.